So hello and welcome to your first guitar lesson. So the intention of this video is to really give you some of the basics that can help you to start learning songs and also to be a little creative on your own as well and get to know this beautiful instrument. So let's start with some things that you'll need to know when you're learning guitar. This is a guitar. This is my baby. And this is called the neck of the guitar here. And the neck has many frets. So each of these little bars here is called a fret. First fret, second fret, third fret, fourth fret, etc. And each of these is a string. And so this is the first string. Somehow we count from the bottom with guitar. First string, second string, third string, fourth string, fifth string, sixth string. You can also call these by their names. So this is the bottom E string. A, D, G, B, E. E, A, D, G, B, E. But for us, we're going to number them from first to sixth. In terms of actions, this is called finger picking. When you're using your fingers to play one string at a time. This is called strumming. It's when you're using a surface to play multiple strings at once. And there are many ways to strum. You can strum with your thumb. You can strum with all of your fingers, maybe like down with thumb and then up with the thumb. That's what I tend to do. You can also use a pick, which is a very small instrument. You can Google guitar pick online. And some will tell you that there's a right way. I don't really fully believe that. I think just do the way that feels right for you. Do the way that sounds good and trust yourself through this process. Yeah. So that's that. I guess one more thing that we can talk about is what's called a capo. This is one form of capo. There are many kinds, but what they do is essentially they clamp down on or just to the left of a fret. And that moves your hands up a little bit, and it moves the guitar into a slightly higher key. So for example, if you hold this shape down here, you're playing an A minor. If you take that same shape with the capo on the third fret, you play a C minor. And so if you're playing an A minor down here and it's a little too low for your voice, you can move the capo to the third fret, play the same shape, and then sing in a slightly higher register. So that's what the capo does. You can use the same shapes to play different chords in higher keys to better suit a higher voice. Today, we are not going to use the capo. We are going to learn 5 chords, and we're going to move quite slowly. And I'll give you a bit of a heads up. The 5th chord is going to be a stretch, especially if this really is your first guitar lesson. So what I recommend is that you take your time, know that you can always replay this video, and I'll also give you the easiest option first. So we'll start with an A minor. And an A minor sounds like this. Now, when you see a chord online, or when you see a depiction of a chord, what you'll see is 6 symbols aligned vertically. For example, 3 2 0 0 3 3, or X 0 2 2 1 0. Now, each of those tells you what to do with the strings. So for the A minor, this bottom string, although it's on the top, this will be an X, which means you don't play it. Or you muffle it, so you touch it slightly so that it doesn't make a noticeable sound. So that's an X. The 5th string, so this is the 6th string, the 5th string will have a 0. That means you play it, but you're not holding down any of the frets. We call this an open string. The 4th string, you're going to take your middle finger and you're going to place it on the 2nd fret. And when you do so, see if you can place it as close as possible to the actual fret. If you hold it down here, kind of far away from the fret, and you don't hold down hard enough, you're going to get a muffled sound. So all the way up close to the fret, holding down nice and hard. There you go. And if it hurts a little bit, just know that that's natural, that's part of the process. Your fingers will get quite hard over time, and it'll get easier. Don't play through the pain too much. This is not meant to be a struggle. There will be some effort involved, especially in the beginning, but as much as possible, you don't want to turn this into a stressful activity, or painful. No need for that. So far we have X, 0, 2. And we take the ring finger and we place it on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. We take the pointer and we place it on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. Pointer, 1st fret, 2nd string. And then the 1st string will be open. So X, 0, 2, 2, 1, 0. And that's your A minor. The C. To play the C, you're going to lift your ring finger and you're going to place it on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. And again, you will not play the 6th string. So then your shape is X, 3, 2, 0, 1, 0. And especially as you're starting out, you might mistakenly play this 6th string open. So you have your nice C shape, but then you strum all 6. And it does technically work. So this open 6th string does work in the chord, but it can also sound a little bit messy. Yeah, it can also sound a little bit like it's muddying the waters. So just hearing the difference there. And hand works. And the reason that it's really nice to not play it is that the C chord ideally wants to start with the C note. So the lowest note that you play, if it's a C, then the chord will sound generally cleaner and more understandable. And that's what's happening. So this third fret on the 5th string is a C note, and this is an E note. So now you're taking the root of the chord and you're turning it into something that's actually not the chord itself. So generally, if it's a C chord, you want your root to be the C. So that's why we do that. So you've got your A minor, you've got your C. Now we're going to move into the G. And there are a few ways to play the G. Usually when you're learning, you'll learn it like this, or like this, or like this. We're not going to do it that way. We're going to do it this way. So from the C, all you need to do is take the pointer off. You're going to take your middle finger and your ring finger, and you're going to move them up one string each. And then you can just play it like this. This is what's called a G6. And it works in the key that we're playing in. But the more standard, and definitely the correct way to play a G when you're first starting out, is to put your pinky on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. So all together, that'll look like this. It'll sound like that. And it'll be depicted or notated as 3, 2, 0, 0, 0, 3. And that's your G. And then to come back to the C, we'll take the ring finger and the middle finger, come back down a string each. We'll put the pointer back on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, and we'll lift the pinky. Actually, you can keep the pinky on. It can sound quite nice. Or you can take it off for the more standard C. And then coming back to the A minor, lifting the ring finger, placing it on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And there you go. So the E minor. For the E minor, once again, you'll lift the pointer. And then you'll take your middle finger and your ring finger, and you'll move each of them up one string. So that'll be 0, 2, 2, 0, 0, 0. It sounds like this. 0, 2, 2, 0, 0, 0. And from that E minor, moving back. I can't help myself. We're going to learn one more chord. So this E minor, we're going to place the pointer on the 1st fret of the 3rd string. So that's 0, 2, 2, 1, 0, 0. And this is an E major, otherwise known as an E. So that's your E. And then to go from an E back to an A minor, you can take all 3 of these fingers and move each of them down 1 string. So X, 0, 2, 2, 1, 0. From the E to the A minor. Kind of has a more energizing vibe to it. So great. So we've already learned 5 chords. Now let's talk about the challenge, the stretch. And this will be the chord of F. The easiest way to play an F is with only 3 fingers and only 3 strings played. You're going to place your, it's kind of like a C, to be honest. So this is your C. X, 3, 2, 0, 1, 0. And from there, you're just going to move your ring finger and your middle finger down a string each. And so then you're essentially playing X, X, 3, 2, 1. And this first string can be a 0. That's actually an F major 7. Or, if you can, just muffle it by resting your pointer against it, so it doesn't really make a sound. This is X, X, 3, 2, 1, X. And so with this form of the F, you can see how simple it can be to transition from the F to the C, to the G, to the C, F, C. And actually, for the G, you can hold your pointer where it is on that first fret of the second string. This is called a G4. And back to the C. So just by moving these 2 fingers down, back, up, back, you're playing F, C, G, C. It's quite nice. Now, you might have just heard there that when I played this F, I mistakenly also played the 6th string open. So I played the E note. This one can sound really messy. If you're doing the easiest version of the F, and you're also playing all 6 strings, it can sound a little bit messy. Does it work? Yes. Will it make you sound like a beginner? Yes. So if you're doing this easiest version of the F, be sure to only play the lowest 4 strings. Or those 3 strings that you're holding down. Next version of an F. You're going to take your pointer, and rather than just holding down the first fret of the second string, you're going to hold down the first fret of the first 2 strings. While your ring finger and your middle finger are still holding down those other 2 strings. So this is X, X, 3, 2, 1, 1. Okay, we're going to make it a little bit harder. So we're going to do an F on a C. This is where it's an F chord, but your root is going to be a C. So for that, you move your ring finger up, and you place your pinky on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. So X, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1. It sounds like this. And here you also have the option to muffle that first string. You even have the option to play it open. So again, this would be an F major 7. And we would call this an F major 7 on a C because the root here is a C instead of an F. So F major 7 on a C. And this is more theory than you need, so you can ignore the commentary. But if you can, keep that pointer clamped down on those two strings, it'll sound like this. So now we're going to go up a level, and we're going to play a proper full 6-string F. And the way that I do it is I take my thumb and I use it to clamp down on the first fret of the 6th string, while the ring finger's here, pointer, pinky's there, middle finger's there, and the pointer's there, as they have been. So the only change I'm making is I'm just clamping down the thumb. There you go, there's your F. And when I'm playing, I usually will either not play this first string, so I'll muffle it, or I'll play it open. Only when I really want to be, particular and play it perfectly properly, then I'll also be holding down that first fret of the first string. Okay, the last version of the F that I'll show you is both the hardest to play as a beginner and also the most standard. So it's called a bar chord, which means that you are having one finger holding down multiple strings at the same time. Technically, actually, we've been playing a bar chord, but this is like a full bar chord where you've got your pointer clamping down on all 6 strings on the first fret. And then the shape of the other fingers will be what it has been. So, ring finger on the 5th string, 3rd fret, pinky, 3rd fret, 4th string, middle finger, 2nd fret, 3rd string, and then your pointer clamping down all of the strings, 1st fret. Your left thumb here is going to need to be pressing up a little bit against the back of the neck to really get that full sound. It's common at first here to get some muffling and some noise. But with practice, your fingers get stronger, your fingers get harder, and you just become more used to the shape. And so you're able to play that bar chord of the F. There you go. To be honest, I'm not great at it either. I rarely play it. But if you're gonna like move into electric guitar and play some rock, you're gonna wanna know how to play these bar chords. And they can be really fun to play around with over time. By the way, the electric guitar, it's generally easier to press down on the strings. So bar chords also become easier to play. So that's kind of it. Let's do a little bit of a summary. We started with the A minor. We moved to the C. Then we learned the G. And then we also learned an E minor. And an E major, or just an E. And so if this is your E, we also learned an F. And we learned a simpler way to play that with the thumb clamping. And without the thumb, F on a C. And without that, 5th string. And also we can play it open, or you can play it muffled. And so there's the variations on an F. In the beginning, I would just do the simplest version. So just these 3 fingers, 1, 2, 3. And this one you can play open. Just remember to not play these, the 5th and the 6th string, if you're using this shape for the F. And that's about it. So you've got a bunch of chords now, and in the comments below, you'll see the annotations for each of those chords, so you can practice on your own and get familiar with the way that chords are presented. And also, you'll have links to 2 songs. One will be a mantra, Shiva Shambho, and the other will be a medicine song, Cuatro Vientos. And these are songs that you can play with the chords that you learned today. So let me know in the comments if you have any questions, if you have any song requests, and yeah, hopefully this has given you enough to get started on your beautiful guitar journey. See you in the next one. Thank you.